It's on. Okay, so it's recording now.
Okay. Being 7 o'clock, I'd like to open the meeting for the Bellingham Board of Health for September 20th, 2022. Myself in 40 chair, Tricia Claire, vice chair, Mike Hennessy, member, Bruce Wilson, health agent, Rob B. Griffin, food and tobacco agent, Lauren O., minutes clerk. And I guess that's it. Okay, first order of business, I guess is this. Okay.
There she is.
Yeah, okay. So, Rob, are you out there? No, okay. Okay, well, we're gonna reopen the public hearing, and we're gonna have comments from Bobby Griffin and town council, I guess, on we've gotten together and they developed some language and some conditional things having to do with like hallucinogenic, psychotropics, psychedelics and stuff like that. And then putting in those items along with plant and animal and anything developed in the laboratory through organic methods, which would be synthetics. But we're also going to identify those things that can categorize in the, and then of course not FDA approved, not United States Pharmacopoeia approved, which would be stuff that is not FDA approved, but it's a, it could be like natural medicines or vitamins and other stuff like that, which really wouldn't fall into that category. But USP would certify if you had a product that was not FDA approved, but was free of any potential harmful chemicals, the purity of it, so the strength, the purity of it, something like that. Homeopathic medicines is what I was leading to, that it's good to have something that's USP. A lot of non-FDA stuff that's laboratory stuff for analysis using to analyze stuff is USP certified. Anyway, so no Robbie.
Not yet.
Okay. I don't know. Nicole, do you want to, I don't know, discuss what I thought I said it all, but I don't know. Like you had said, we need definitions, and Robbie was supposed to provide us with definitions tonight, but we agreed that we'd probably continue it so you and Robbie can get together and make sure we know where we're fitting it into our regulations, and exactly some of the things would be defined. So it's clearer and less vague.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we had the call earlier today with you, myself, and Rob, and it sounds like we've come to an understanding as to where the board is trying to go with a ban on mind-altering substances that are hallucinogenics that aren't approved by the FDA. And there were some specifics that Rob had said that had been an issue that he had seen in his inspection when he has gone to some of these tobacco stores. And so we were going to include specific types of hallucinogenic substances that Rob had specifically identified. And so the regulation would read including but not limited to, and list out those substances, and then we would define them so that we would have a much more narrow definition, and it wouldn't be so vague to just simply say any mind-altering substances, which my understanding from the board at the last meeting I attended, each member thought it could mean something entirely different. So to avoid that type of confusion, we're going to try and work together to narrow down the definition to meet what Vinny intended and what Rob has seen just in his capacity as an agent for the town. So Rob was going to draft up some language and then send it over to me, and him and I were going to work together to narrow it down and then present it to the board again.
Yeah, I think one of the, or two of the things that now come to my mind is Delta 8 and Delta 10, possibly Delta 9, but whatever, those things would be spelled out. And, obviously they would be In some of the other cases, if something is prescribed, in other words, or FDA approved, that would be an exception. That would not be, if it was something else that was medical, that was not in a normal stream of, let's say, medicines, but was out there and was approved by a doctor and FDA licensed, then, the board has no problem with that. We're just, it's what's allowed. But rather, as you said the last time, we don't want to go into a long list of what's allowed. We want to have a shorter list of what's not allowed. And then, and just to say, it has happened before and may never happen again. Back in 2011 through 13, before we developed the regulation, there was a lot of, I guess we'll call them designer drugs. There was 2 adult stores and they were allowed to sell. So different things. So I wanted to add in there that if it's based on plant-based, hallucinogenics, or psychotropic or psychedelic, animal-based, because there are certain, I use the word animal, if it's from the ocean, it's not an animal, it's crustacean, but whatever. Those kind of things that someone can mine, extract a venom or something from the animal, and then use it as a hallucinogen or a mind-altering substance. And then anything synthetically, organically produced for the mere purpose to, have people get high. Those would be, we don't know what they are. We don't know if the old ones will come back, but it just puts that out there that, we have control of what will eventually or may never come to the market. So anyway, Robbie is here. So is that true, Rob? Rob. So you missed a little, but.
I am here. I was having issues opening the link here on my phone, but
Okay.
I am officially here.
Okay. So I don't know if you heard what I said and what Nicole said. And just at the last moment, I remembered Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, and some of the stuff that's produced from hemp that when they manufacture it, instead of 0.03%, which is, no effect of THC, they can drive it up higher. That I didn't know. And those things are now appearing when you're doing an inspection. So we do need to say that they're not FDA approved. They're not what was intended. They're not really cannabidiol. They're really, I guess if you want to call it, since THC is a component of marijuana, they're basically an elevated THC compound that's coming from hemp versus the marijuana plant. And again, it's mind altering, and we don't want to have that be sold in our tobacco stores or whatever else. So I don't know if you want to have anything to add to it. If not, I think, I would suggest that we
Make a motion to continue.
Yeah, I'll make, if someone make a motion to continue the meeting till next meeting.
I just have one question specifically for council. It sounds like a lot of these medications are natural, organic. Is this part of what you're looking for?
Correct.
My only concern with that is a lot of cultures use that sort of thing for medication.
Correct.
It is not FDA approved. It is not DEA approved.
Right.
There is a physician 2 towns over that practices all natural,
It's
organic,
homeopathic.
homeopathic
Yes,
medication.
right.
Is this what Vinny is proposing with the amendment? Is that going to infringe on their right to practice medicine and to do that, because they're not, it's not FDA approved, it's organic?
Right.
Is it going to infringe on their right to practice, or is it going to get somebody in trouble if they get stopped by Bellingham PD and during a search they have this on them and the town says you can't have it?
I think it's mainly you can't sell it. So in other words, if the physician in another town, his source is Bellingham, that Bellingham source, we would know about it. Typically, it wouldn't be coming out of a tobacco store. That's the
Right.
other thing that council had emphasized. It really is having to do with not dispensaries, not, I
Right.
think you mentioned marijuana bars, which I don't think we'll ever have one of those. But it wouldn't be something coming out of like a hookah bar or a tobacco selling entity in Bellingham, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I don't think so, because unless there's something I don't know about that's derived from the tobacco
Well,
plant.
right, I don't know if that was Bellingham or Milford. You had the apothecary.
That's true. Yeah, that's, I think Milford. It could be even Hopedale. I don't know if it's,
Could that
Well,
come
this is focused more on retail and tobacco. So this isn't about what medicine people practice. This is geared towards those specific things.
Okay.
the other thing is,
If I-
would it come with a script, wouldn't the doctor?
It would, but it's
Describe
not, if
something.
they don't have a DEA number.
right, they don't have a DA number.
It might be a way. to-
Again, it's retail, guys, retail.
It is, yes. What I'm saying, what Dennis just said and what Mike's echoed, it doesn't have a DEA number. It's not federally, essentially FDA approved. So I don't think it's going to be federally disallowed, but it may be. If it is,
That it is.
it is, yeah. In that case, then the tobacco store couldn't sell that.
Right.
Right.
I'm not, yeah,
Yeah.
I
mean,
wanted to make sure we
If
weren't.
they get their stuff, and I'm very sure they probably get it from the
No.
pharmacy,
Yeah.
because
pharmacy
they
would-
got to get, the key thing that I threw into this thing was anything that's USP, United States Pharmacopoeia, that's the pharmacological, what do you call it, like gold standard for all pharmaceutical chemicals before they become the drug, before the pharmacist manufactures that, puts it into a capsule or puts into a pill. All the chemicals that go into that are USP. They have to be.
Okay.
And then the FDA approves the chemical that's prescribed by the thing, like if it's
I don't want to get,
OxyContin. But OxyContin is manufactured
right.
by the pharmacist unless it's an
But
over-the-counter.
I'm just thinking of that 1 in a million
Right.
case that,
Yeah.
and we're gonna look awful.
But yeah, that's true. But Trish is
Okay.
echoed it out
Yep,
perfectly
okay.
that it's only something that we're looking to regulate to come out of a
Okay.
tobacco, let's say vendor
Okay.
at this point, you know,
Motion to continue.
okay. You want a second?
I second
Trish?
that.
Okay,
Yep,
all
I
those in
second
favor
that.
say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry to interrupt. You need to continue to a specific date and time.
okay. Let's see, what's our next meeting? We'll do that. Thank you.
Do we meet the first and third, or do we meet the?
Well,
second?
it's 2 weeks. Yeah, it's the first and third, I guess.
Is it the first, so that'd be the fourth?
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Or you want to go out to the 18th?
No, do you think the 4th is enough, Rob and Nicole? 4th of
Yeah,
October?
I don't see why that would be an issue.
Okay, so can you?
Are you
rephrase-
okay with that too, Nicole? Just,
That's
I mean,
fine.
you're the busier probably. So,
We can make it work.
all
Okay.
right, very good,
Motion
thank
to-
you.
Motion to continue on to October 4th
Okay,
I second
7
that.
p.m.
at our next, at 7 PM.
right, okay. Okay, second that, Trish?
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item is 740 Pulaski Boulevard, water shut off. The water department contacted me Thursday in the morning, I believe, that they had excessive water use for 2 quarters, 213 or 19,000, 269,000 gallons were pumped through between whatever the quarters are, April and August or September, whatever. In any event, they said they sent someone down. I believe it was in July after the first quarter. And they went to the basement. The business was open. They went in there and there was water within probably a crawl space basement, 5 to 6 feet tall. It was within 6 inches of the panel. So let's say 3 feet deep. They didn't shut the water off. They just simply, I don't know. They just said, we'll wait until it gets down there. They were thinking of calling the building department or the board of health, but I think that was in July. Again, the bill came in for September to their water meter reading, and it was up to 269, not 219. So they called the board of health and, Laura referred them over to me. And I said, well, I'm going to go down there right now and check it out. So I went down there. The place was closed, but they were moving vehicles. So when the guy showed up from Lab Automotive, he said, hey, you want to look in here? I said, absolutely. So we went through the whole building. There was 7 holes in the roof. The toilet, which he said, well, we don't use the toilet. So I didn't want to go any further. where are you going? In any event, they were moving out. They've been moving for the past month. I guess it's gonna take another several weeks. They told landlord they're moving out. In any event, the toilet is, you know, it's there, but there's a board across it. You can see the sky. It's very nice on a summer day. But the water was not there. But then I got a flashlight or someone's phone, and I could see the water dripping like crazy after the meter. So it means it's their water. If it was before the meter, it'd be unaccountable water. But I then called Jesse and said, listen, I've witnessed a severe leak. We're not going to wait for the neighbor next door to been complaining. Sump pump is discharging because it's in the basement and it pumps it right over to the property lines like 8 feet apart. So it's pumping it right into her yard. She did call on 7/11 and I believe in August, saying that the sump pump was running nonstop. You know, it was probably after the business closed, but there probably was a lot of water in it. Somehow the ground, let's say, dried up during this drought and it went in the ground. And now all we had was soft soil and a very steady drip. So I told him, per order of the Board of Health, shut that water off. And then I got in touch with the guy. Well, tried to get in touch with the owner, A&E Realty, Mr. What's his name? Whatever. His name here somewhere. Anyway, we sent registered mail saying he should appear to this meeting of the Board of Health. I don't see it right now. Anyway, pending, you know, I would like to say, have the board say that he has 30 days to repair the building. I mean, to get building permits, make the building rentable again. In the meantime, the water stays off. The power, since there's no water threat, the power can stay on. That way they can work in there and fix that building up. If they need to work there, workers, they'll have to get a porta potty because, you know, unless somebody goes in like a plumber. And I said to him on a voicemail that you can get a plumber, go down and get a plumbing permit and have that valve replaced because it's after the meter requires a plumbing permit. And then we'll turn the water back on. But I got no answer. The phone just, you know, goes to I guess a deadline. So building inspectors tried 2 or 3 times after, I don't know, 2 times on Thursday, 1 on Friday, and 4 more on the weekend. I just said, we wait till tonight and the board needs to make a decision as to how do we resolve this issue. And I would say we give him 30 days. He did receive this message, registered mail, because of the Thursday going on Thursday, Friday, Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We probably won't get anything back till next Monday or Tuesday, either saying he didn't pick it up or
He has until.
he has it.
He has until 7:30 tonight is what you gave him in the letter.
Oh, okay, sorry, okay.
Just a question. So I'm sorry, Mrs. Spark, is the water on now or no?
No, it's shut off. This has been shut off as of Thursday afternoon at, I think, 2 o'clock.
But I mean, that's a health issue because nobody can
No,
wash
no
their
one's
hands
there.
after. Nobody's there?
No one's there. They're moving out the cars. And that's another thing too. The site has, I have a concern, there's wetlands nearby. There were drums of oil and some were already, when oil gets water in it, it's like the old days. Your PCV valve failed, you get a creamy, I call it a latte, but what it is oil water emulsion. So that's sitting outside, open container, 5 gallons. It had another gallon before it overflows, but if we get substantial rain, that'll fill right up and go right in the ground. It's not going to be a reportable quantity. It's probably not going to affect groundwater because you need a lot of oil to affect groundwater, but it is still something that's reportable basically to the Board of Health, and then the Board of Health can make a decision whether DEP gets involved. Then we would need to know the quantity actually was spilled. So all I can say is 1 55-gallon drum sealed, 1 open 5-gallon drum that's oil water residue, and then another chemical, I'm not sure what it was, but I told him, you're going to clean that up. He said, I'm taking everything out of here. So he had told me he would call me Monday morning. And I said, well, great, you can call me, but you can call the Board of Health agent. He'll be in. And Bruce went down and said he hasn't finished moving yet. So he's just going to continue to move his stuff.
What's the address?
740 Pulaski. It's the big brick building, 4-bay garage with the office on the side, right across from the.
Right across from.
from the, is it Vietnamese restaurant?
It's close to there, yeah,
It's close to there.
Yeah.
It's diagonally across.
It's
from there.
like down the street from Sandy's, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Sandy's is quite a ways up, but you're right. It's on the same side. as
You
Sandy.
you can see it from Deer Run down.
Yes, Deer Run, yeah, is also close by. But, it's Lav Automotive. He said he was moving out and I just said, I want you to call us because I want to do an inspection, make sure that there was one significant oil stain, but again, I can't quantify that without a licensed site professional getting out there. And at this point, I guess we could take a shovel and dig and say, no, it's not too deep, therefore it's probably not reportable. But I don't know, we could also just turn it over to DEP. And whatever. We could also look, one other thing, Laura, you could probably look up on the DEP website, see if there's a monitoring well in that area, because there's a garage and all garages in this town and state have monitoring wells. You can actually go look at them and they'll tell you the frequency and what contaminants are in there that they monitor it. And if it's been, what do they call it when they retire it, if they've retired it. But there are very few that are retired. We have them all over the place, even back from before, Daphne's took over Vonnie. There was some major spills off of Depot Street and Hartford Ave. So, but anyway, the state does usually the big ones when there's an oil spill or a fuel spill. So in any event, I think we need to get this person to fix that building. And I would say my recommendations is he has 30 days to pull permits and fix the building. He needs to have a functional bathroom if he's going to rent that to somebody, even as it is a garage. So it'll probably be like 6 people at 15 gallons per person, right?
It's so much per bay.
Yeah, per bay. Okay. So whatever that is, it's a low usage, but I don't know if there's even a septic. Is that sewer? That's another question. Well, why don't we check that out and see if that's sewer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was on sewer there.
It should be.
I don't know if they're connected or not.
Okay. Well, there is a toilet there, like I said, you couldn't possibly use. There's a lot of mold in there, so whoever goes in there, even if they're servicing cars, they shouldn't be exposed to that level of black mold. There's insulation everywhere. The bays are the safest place because where the cars were, there's just a metal roof and it's that poly coated insulation. But the office, bathroom, and the basement area, the insulation was all down. There's light fixtures hanging. Again, they're not on. I don't even know if they're connected anymore because the conduit was ripped right out of them. So
how much time do we want to give him, Vinny?
I wanted to give him 30 days to get building permits and get this thing at least started, and he can come back for more time if he needs more time. But what I'm worried about is he's going to rent this to someone else. And
Well, he can't rent it until the issues are resolved, so we can at least stay that, right?
Right. Yeah, that's
So
what
let's
I'm
make
saying. We need to
let's
a
make the motion then for the 30 days with saying that he can't rent until all the issues are resolved.
Right. Okay.
And a COC, a certificate of occupancy. with
Yeah,
the
yes.
Building department.
Should we wait until 7:30 comes and goes?
Yeah. Okay. I kind of jumped the gun. I didn't see that.
His note, the notice that he received in the mail tells him.
Says 7:30. So let's
7:30
wait
PM.
5 more minutes. In the meantime.
Oh, okay.
So
Thank you.
before we do this, because if he shows up, we'll give him a chance
Right.
to hear what we already said, and which is appropriate. I want to do the minutes from August 23rd.
Hold on, Vinny, one thing too. I caught it earlier, but when I had to summon someone to a meeting for tobacco, I was told that I needed to have at least 1 week notice to get them into the meeting. So I don't know if we meet that requirement.
This was September 15th.
Yeah, well, if you have to give them 1 week's notice to get into the meeting, then,
What day was the letter delivered?
yeah.
Letters dated September 15th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should we just?
So we'll wait till 7:30 and see if he comes, and then if not, then we're gonna assume that he needs a week. The 2
Yeah,
extra.
so we'll have to continue it till the next meeting. Okay, fine. Okay. Yeah, I don't expect that someone's gonna try to put somebody in there. No one would rent that for any money unless you want to just use the garages for storage. But you can't work in there. And if you're just gonna use it for storage, I might say it's okay, but if you have employees there, they have to have a bathroom. You know, I mean, right now, there's a ceiling joist and, I don't know, a 6x10 area ceiling and insulation covering where the sink is, and the toilet you can see because it sticks up, you know, the water closet. But the rest of it, you can't tell it's a toilet, except,
We should probably have Tim go in and look at it too.
yeah.
All right, Vinny, let's do our minutes and see if he
Okay,
shows
let's
up
do our
and
minutes,
then we'll
correct.
just keep
Okay.
moving on, okay?
Okay, let's do the minutes. I'm good with this.
Motion to approve minutes from our last meeting.
Trish, can you second it?
Yep, I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. So,
Do the flu clinic.
Yes.
yeah, we
have
can
a
do
flu
it. Yep.
Clinic
So,
scheduled for Wednesday, October 19th,
Yep.
from 1 to 4.
Yep.
And there's a code that you can scan so you can schedule to make an appointment,
well, I mean, you can do it the other way,
or
right?
you can log in,
Log in, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay,
but it's through our,
because I'm not high tech enough for the scanning.
You can't scan. You
Well,
just hold your camera up and click the link.
oh, is that what you do?
it is.
Oh.
Really, it's like, this is really.
Yeah. I mean, Bruce can do it.
You don't have the app? No, you
You
don't
don't
have
need-
the app.
No,
There
no.
is no app.
Oh, there
It's
is.
just
You
your
got a
camera.
camera in your phone.
Okay. Yeah, but what does that do? It just gives you this nice little block.
They give you a block, touch on it, and boom, it'll bring you right to the site.
Oh, okay, well, okay.
I haven't gotten a flu shot in 20 years, so.
Okay. Well, whatever. Actually, I talked to this lady, Ann Lamonti. I probably say that, you know, it was a very good discussion on we're hiring you as a nursing, association or, and, you know, I don't want to hear that people are being charged like our other 2 nurses ago where they're charging a delivery fee, what do you call it, administration fee, and then the vaccine. I said, if the vaccine is not supplied and it's a $5 or $10 charge, that's fine. The receiver shall pay that, or their insurance company will. But, you know, it's like the old adage, well, I'm not paying for it, the insurance company is. That's like saying they're not going to raise their rate. They will, because any insurance company that has to pay for everything that you are entitled to raises your rates. It's not like, well, that should come out of your premium. It doesn't. It's always, you know, so anyway, she had said, no, we won't do that. We do need to record like who you are and, you know, because they have to
It goes
register
it goes
into the
they're actually using color now, but it goes into
database.
the database.
Yeah, that's fine.
The way
And I
it
said, I'm
happens.
fine with that. I said,
Yeah.
I just, you know, when it was with the military, you know, you probably couldn't refuse it, but you could. But you never had to pay for anything. It was always, you know, you go there and they had many times and you get your vaccine.
They just
So,
give you the
When
shot.
I first, you know, started coming here, that's the way it was going. Then all of a sudden things changed. And I said, you know, if we can get back to that, I'd be a happy camper. And I'm sure a lot of old people like me would be a happy camper that, you know, we're not tagging Medicare and anybody else.
So do we need to approve this or is this just?
No,
Well,
I
that's
think
just
we
information.
just need to get it across and,
All right.
you know, get that on my
I think
town
it's already
email.
part of our VNA contract, so I don't think we have to
Correct,
approve
yeah.
it.
So I've heard a couple of good things so far. I honestly say that, you know, the Milford side, you know, is as good, if not better than the Woonsocket side we had. In between there, the first time, I don't know, Dennis, you'll remember that, you were a younger person, when the Board of Selectmen called us in and said that, you know, how could we dare to get rid of a contract that was costing us 13,000. We got it first year for like under 5, you know, and then someone said in Milford, if we knew we were going to be competing, we would have given you a better price. I'm going like, what? Yeah, anyway, but this company, I mean, this is Milford, but they're called Solomon. I was impressed. I talked to 2 people there, and one, and another administrative person, and I said, send us a quote. And shockingly,
Came highly recommended
yeah,
from Franklin and Medway.
yeah, but they have a perfect, you know, that goes back, I say that rate was probably going back like 5 years ago. You know. I think we would have paid a lot more if it was any other company. And again, getting our own nurse was okay, but we couldn't keep them. You know, the COVID probably, and Essie wanted to leave to go, whatever. It was like, you know, it drove them, you know, I don't know, right into the ground.
Esther was awesome. I
Yeah.
think that we should probably just reach out to the senior center and like, you know, maybe another 5 months just to see how everything's going over there. We should probably add that.
Contact Lisa, the administrator, the assistant director. She had ties to the Board of Health many, many years ago. And I, you know, I'll do that. I, you know, need to talk to
I just, Laura, if we can just put
Okay.
that.
Oh, okay,
as
she
a
retired,
goal,
sorry.
just to-
Okay, well,
just
we'll
to so.
reach out to somebody else.
Plenty of other people.
There's plenty of other people.
Plenty of people there. I talked to them almost. on a
Okay.
daily basis.
Yes,
yeah.
I'll put it on a timeline.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you, perfect.
Thank you.
Just want to see if they want to add anything or, and how, you know, if they're happy and stuff, so that's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I agree. So 7:33, no show, so. Like I said, I left a lot of messages. I didn't know if it worked, and I said to Laura, like on Thursday, I said, just get a registered letter out as soon as possible. I said, I want to address this, you know.
All right, well, let's go down the next thing on the agenda, and then if he
Okay.
shows up, we'll just,
Fine.
we'll
Okay,
deal with that. Okay,
okay,
Somebody logging in, everybody.
okay.
oh, someone's connecting right now, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on. Who is it, Bruce? Does it say?
It just says iPhone guest.
well, if they want to be heard though.
Right, iPhone guest that just logged in, do you have anything you would like the board to hear, or are you just checking out? You gotta unmute yourself.
I guess they want to be anonymous.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. I guess, so we did flu clinic thing. Okay, donation bins. Oh, baby. Okay,
Dennis is
Jerry-
there, right? Because I have a question for Dennis.
Yep. Hi, Trish.
Okay. Hi, how are you? Sorry I couldn't be there at a kids meeting too. So we're gonna talk about the donation bins, but I have a concern about the bin that is in front of the old Pinecrest School, the book bin. So it's full and the company has closed down and
Trish, that bin was acquired by another company. I can probably get the contact information if you're saying it's still full, but it had changed hands and somebody else is servicing it now.
but how can they do that with the old bin that has a different company name on it?
I think they put new stickers on it.
I don't know. Trish,
Okay.
Okay, let's check it out and see if there's new stickers on it, but you can't have someone else's bin converted with somebody else's name on it. It's like, hey, we call.
Right, it seems
Yeah.
weird, but I mean, I haven't been down the road in a while, but I was down there, I think last week, and I was like, it's still here. It's been like a year and a half, so,
Because they would have worked out something with them to keep it there. But it is under new management.
Okay,
they would have had to get a permit from us or no? Because it's a bin, so we
I'll
should have
check.
that on file.
Yeah, I'll check with the permit ice.
okay. Yeah, we got to do that, because if not, I had a suggestion, that is, the highway department goes
so
down there
hold
and
on,
cut the law.
Before you put your suggestion in, that's why I wanted to ask Dennis, like, how would you handle something like this?
Yeah, how do we handle
Because
it?
it's an abandoned bin that's full of books, that's an eyesore. Like it needs to go. It's been there for 2 years and we've been kind of working on it to get rid of it for at least a year and a half.
Yeah, it's funny, I've been down the old Pinecrest School, Primavera.
Yes,
the blue-
yeah,
the
that
blue
blue
bin
bin right in the
Ready
front.
We're getting ready to knock that down. We're gonna go to town meeting actually for the funds. and get
Oh,
it
right.
out. So, yeah, I hadn't noticed it, but I think we try and find out if we don't know who's got it, then Vinny's got the right idea. We get the loader down and we pop it off
Yeah.
and get it out.
What we can do
It's
is-
on town property. so-
Right, and the other thing too is we can take the books, put them in the paper bin, it's recycled material.
Sure.
And then the metal can either go into the thing or
Yeah.
someone's gonna get creative and
Yeah,
say free
I
metal.
hadn't noticed it, but
Yeah.
if we can find out who's got it, great. If not, then
Yeah, no,
we'll just
I-
get it out of there.
Okay.
I'll get to the bottom of that.
So,
I
yeah.
worked with Planet Aid on that, and they were able to get somebody to assume it.
Okay, well, we need to do that.
All right, so at least, we'll work on it and maybe Dennis can help us if need be to come up with a plan to get rid of it. If they're gonna demolish the building, maybe they'll take the bin with them. I don't know, something.
Yeah,
We can make it part of the contract.
yeah,
I hadn't checked it lately, but they did come and empty it at one point, so if it's full
Okay.
again, it needs to be serviced.
okay. But the other thing too is make sure they're permitted and let's get a new name on there because if, I mean, I guess you could leave it the same color, but let's get a name that's visible, like Planet Aid, St. Vincent de Paul, Red Cross, whatever it is. You can't have somebody, I don't know, what's
I
that?
think
It's
it's
on
new-
town
cloaking.
property. It's kind of a goofy place for it in front of the school that we're getting ready to knock down.
Yeah, I know.
I think they
It's
put
been
a
there when the
sticker on
school,
it. I'll have to stop by. and
when
look.
was the last time a school was used?
Long time.
Okay,
Long,
I
long.
don't understand why it's.
so first of all, who would go there to put books?
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
That's across from the baseball field, isn't it?
Yes,
Well, guys, I did. That's how I knew it was full. I went there to put books there.
Yeah, you get the whole rec complex right there. That's probably why it's there.
Yeah, but if you have a rec complex, who brings books to a baseball game? I don't know.
Listen,
I'm
I
the guy
brought
that
books
drives around
there.
with clothes in the back of my car for like 3 months before I go.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Trish, Bruce will check it out and then,
yeah, I'll get you the name of
Yeah.
the company.
yeah.
I'm pretty,
Make
I'm
sure
pretty
that
sure
they
that
have, that they do have a
permit.
permit too, and that it's legit.
Okay,
I
right,
was
so-
working with, Greg from Planet Aid on that one, so I believe it's squared away. It's one of the
Okay.
people he deals with all the time.
okay. So, next item is, sort of, I guess, Vinnie's Cammering 101. Okay, so, I don't know, since like 2 months ago, when I put up the camera in a few locations, it was on Depot Street for way too many months. I didn't get anything. There was nobody littering during that period of time, believe it or not. And it was literally right after Earth Day, so it was there probably 3 months. Yeah, maybe even close to 4. The batteries were dead, so I changed the batteries and I moved it directly to the Larry's place. And I went and talked to him and he said, I don't have any problem. The last time I spoke to the owner, he wanted us to sign a document saying that if I fell or Bruce, well, in the old days, it was Mike, that we wouldn't sue him. I said, really? I said, so this time I said, if you're gonna do, I said, I don't even know if I have the document. I said, but I'm not wasting my time. I said, you are gonna clean this bin and, maintain every 24 hours. And he has been doing it. All the stuff that's there, he puts in the bin, his trash bin, which is good. But in the meantime, he said, yeah, we'd be love you to have you catch people. Well, that said, it's not as easy as one thinks.
I know Jerry Daigle, wife is very sick and had some surgery.
Yeah.
He wanted us to put that on the agenda so he could speak
Okay,
on
okay.
that, but he isn't able
He
to
isn't
join
here.
us tonight.
Well, let's put it up here and then, I realized that, after getting some 7 photographs, after probably about 15 violators, because I can tell by the driving by that this is new. And then when I go to the camera, I said, oh, it's not there. The person who dropped off the couch and the mattress and box spring really wanted to get them. They're very creative. They came in the middle of the night, high beams towards the building, because I'm sure they go into Larry's and they can see a camera facing this way. It never faced that way. They're not seeing our camera because it's a, what do you call it? Like a outdoor woodsy camera. You can't see it. People can see it when I'm servicing it, but I do it in like 10 minutes flat. I'm the fastest. Take the disc out, put the new one in. Now, this weekend, I lost the ability to catch somebody through out, we call those curtain rods that are like the old fashioned wooden, we call those things, anyway, whatever they are, the wooden things with all the curtains that slide. Must have come out of somebody's house in the 60s. But anyway, that said, that 3 or 4 pillows, not pillows for your head, but pillows for couch, and a big bag of it probably looked like linens. So I couldn't catch them because the camera, the batteries died. I've been up there almost 4 weeks. So anyway, that said, I got back to what I do is I save the STC JPEG files and I go one before, one after them. And then the middle ones I usually, if they don't move too much, what happens is they drive in facing the camera, beautiful. Zoom in on the plate. When I go to print it though, it zooms back out. Maybe I'm not high tech enough, but my printer, when I click on this picture, it clicks it back out. But in the meantime, I write down the plate number. I write down what state it is. I write down the time of day. And right now, until I get my, how do I say it? My weekend schedule, I can tell you it's either a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday, because I install on Friday, pick up on Sunday, run it through Monday morning. There's a new card in there. So I don't have dates, exact, but I don't need to. If you violated it, you're going to know what you did and you're going to know what time you did it. Roughly, I have the time right. But in any sense, the people who drove over with the lights on blinded me. I couldn't see it, and that was probably smart. The other thing is we have people come in diagonally and back up. So they know that.
Should we talk about this when Chief Daigle is here?
Well,
So
we
we
could.
Yeah.
see his
Okay.
input on it too. Like, because then you're gonna go and tell the whole story all over again. You know what I mean? Like, it's better to have him here.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we will wait.
So let's
We'll continue
put
until
it
the next
on
meeting.
Okay.
the next meeting.
Okay.
I will say they definitely are doing a much better job.
Oh, yeah. No, I can honestly say,
You can't help people dumping there.
No, no,
you know,
but
you
he
go-
has said he's going to put his own camera up there.
He does clean it up.
He does. By the way, now, since I've given him way past before I put the camera, a lot of notices.
Yeah.
Because the weekend, we usually can't wait for Planet 8.
Yeah.
That's 4 days or 3 days. And I'm not waiting that. So what I said was, even though we have a 48-hour rule, any one of the Board of Health or any other agency like police could go in there and say, if there's trash out there after 24 hours, probably wouldn't be police, but any other authority that has regulations for trash could go out and give them a notice and then 24 hours later, fine them, 24 hours or 25 hours later. That
I do
said,
have to agree with Dennis that, I mean, it really has come a long way.
it has, no, I
the
cannot
select-
believe how much
The
stuff. they
select
put in.
board asking us to just get rid of the bins altogether because it was such an eyesore when
Correct.
people were coming into Bellingham. There was so
Correct,
much
yeah.
trash left at those bins. So obviously, we want to be on top of it, because if you see, big items out there or it looks terrible, and you just bring it to management's attention and just say, hey, there's trash out there, let's try to get it cleaned up, 24 to 48 hours. That's all we can do. But when you keep saying that over and over, then it just becomes automatic. They just do it, right?
Yeah, actually, right now, I don't have to say
So-
more. They do it literally. The joke Trish commented was there was a big suitcase out there, like brand new. And, someone said, did you check and see if there's money in it? I said, no, I didn't.
I would
But,
have been like, is there a body in there?
well, I didn't check, I
You
just saw
never
it.
know if anybody.
I was gonna go back and get it, but the bottom line was, Mr. Patel threw it into I could see it in the dumpster when I wouldn't change my camera. I said, wow. So he has been lights out. I really can't say. And the other thing too is there was a lot of trash there. He hired a company, cut everything down. There was 3 yards or 2 yards of horse manure or some kind of cow manure. I told him, I said, that cannot stay there. Even though it's not human waste, it's waste. It's near a wetland. So rather than turn it over to conservation, I told him it needed to be cleaned up in, I think we said 3 days. It was. He cut everything down. I got the guys on camera cutting everything down, mowing it in the bag, all the bags, they were picking up all the trash. So that said, the only thing we have to worry about is, for some reason today, the blue is Republic, right, Dennis? I think it's the Blues Republic. His trash thing was filled to the very top. A couple other people with the same color blue, no trash pickup today by, I believe it's Republic. So I'm gonna say to him, if your trash guy doesn't pick it up, you want to give him a kind reminder. The Board of Health will issue them a fine because They're supposed to be picking up that trash bin so that the trash doesn't blow all over the place. He put something on it to keep it closed, but it was overstuffed, you know. And, you know, the other thing too is, he also, one day he had trucks coming in and it was quality beverage. And they were throwing flyers all over the place. So I picked up a few. I think Bruce picked up a few, but I went in there and said, listen, I'm coming back to go to Home Depot in 4 hours. If all your yard is not cleaned up, then you're getting a fine. So, and that's the other thing too, is one thing, Trish, and then we'll continue this. But Laura had asked me, and I don't know, I didn't look at the bin. The bin fines are for bin violations, right? Not for the litterers. So I said, since that's commercial property, the first fine on a commercial property is not 100 like regular trash littering. It is a $300 fine. So if the board agrees that if you are littering in front of a bin, which is posted now with a sign saying you're being photographed, you will be fined.
Yeah, that is, I mean, that is correct. That it falls under
It's
the
300, okay, so-
bylaw.
Okay, so we will follow the commercial bylaw for this. Anyway,
Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
I just wanted to make a comment out of the first 5 that Vinny had given me
Yeah.
between me and the detective, and I think this is why it was put on the agenda. I actually put it on the agenda after working on it and talking with Jerry.
Right.
That out of the first 5, they found 1 license plate that we could contact the person. So for whatever reason, 4 of those license plates, and you don't have it in your package. These were the earlier ones. There were no records found on 4 of those plates.
Okay.
So I could only find 1 person. So
Okay, fine.
it's a very lengthy process.
Yeah,
For Vinny, for me, and for the police detective. So that's something to think about. Is it worth, and the fine that I did fine them, and they just didn't bother to pay the fine. So then it would have to be, Bruce and I were talking today, a criminal citation to go to court. So is this worth all of, you know, this time everybody's putting in, or do we stick to the 24, 48-hour cleanup that's in our regulation? I mean, those are just some things to think about as it goes forward. You know, we can wait for,
Detective.
what was that?
I say I agree, Laura. The police department's certainly not gonna be investing detective hours on
okay.
somebody throwing some junk. You know, one thing you could do too, if they continue to have a problem, require them to fence it in like you would any other dumpster, and then people go in, they go in from the side and put their things there, and maybe that's one way of softening the look a little bit.
The only problem is it'll occupy parking lot. Remember, the winter comes, and then what do you do then, you know?
Yeah, no, I-
And by the way, when Planet A comes in, they come in with a myriad of vehicles. I mean,
Depends on
it's
what they're gonna pick up.
never the same vehicle.
Yeah.
Some guys, there's actually 2 or 3 people in cars, get out of the cars, then they load like minivans,
Yeah.
and they open the bin, so they're not looters, and they're not looters until they go into the bin. If it's outside the bin,
Yeah.
that is not looting, that
Well, it
is.
is better, so I think the
Yeah.
vigilance to stay on top of it. definitely
Okay,
helps.
so I think, you know, like I
think
said,
if-
Laura,
I
I
think if
complained
it's
a
like
little.
I think if it's like a if they're dropping off toxins, right? Big items like
Yeah.
big couches and
TV
mattresses and
sets, those are
I,
hazardous
I,
materials.
it's not even at the bins. I'd be more concerned if they're dumping them on the side of the street, because the people like Plan Aid, they're pretty good with picking that stuff up, you know?
Yeah, they had to cut
For
that
the
up. there
most part,
3
I
trips
mean,
to get that couch out.
I had to help them put it on the
Yeah.
truck. Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of excessive, you know, that people.
but
are being-
let's put this on the next meeting
Okay,
when
let's
Keith
put it-
can
let's
come and just
continue
hear
this
his
till,
thoughts too. We heard what
I-
Laura has to say. We know it's like, it's a lot of looking into. I mean, I sent her one too, that I'm driving behind someone and they threw a nip right out the window,
Yeah,
right in front of me. Took a picture of the plate, the nip right there, and that plate they couldn't track either. So
that bothers me, because when I'm getting these plates, the only ones I'm giving them are pretty clear. Like if there's a temporary plate, or people have some plates like on a truck, there was a big truck that dumped off some junk. I forget, it was furniture. But when they open the steak bodies, I can see the guy and I can see the lady. their plate had mud on it. And, I'm trying to say, how can I zero in? I tried everything I could, I'm not a computer expert, so I'm playing with my computer and camera, and I'm trying to contrast it. I was able to get all the numbers, because it's only numbers. Well, there's one letter, the R, and all the numbers except for one. And I said, well, I gave him the vehicle. It was a F-550 stake body Ford truck, black, registration, commercial, R, blah, 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 blah. And I think it was a 1 or a 2. And I couldn't really tell,
All right,
So
Vinny,
the
let's
point
move on
is-
because Robbie has to talk too. He's
Right,
next.
but you said, Trish, you couldn't trace that when you were right behind it with a photograph.
We got
Right.
it. Trish, we were
No,
able-
actually, I did trace it. I finally found the person. I sent them the fine and they're from Providence and they just didn't care.
Okay,
So we would have to move forward with the criminal citation, which seems like excessive,
What would it take?
Gotcha.
Just to.
All right, then let's move on. Let Robbie.
yeah, well, we could ask the chief that. He may not want to do that. It's probably beyond,
If
another.
that's something you gotta, I've had issues with that before, but.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I agree, Trish, we're gonna continue this, but the other thing we can probably say is that, if we continue it, maybe the issue is, and it goes to whether or not the bin owner, not the bin owner, the bin, the establishment owner who receives money from the bin company, if they don't do it like every 24 or 48, then we fine them, and then after, I think they said the 3rd fine, we have the bins removed,
Right, that is correct.
So I think,
But
the
let's-
other thing too
let's-
is I don't want to say we wasted money on a camera. And, I gotta admit, it is a lot of time, but at this point, I'm a little bit perturbed that these people keep doing it. And it seems when you don't expect it, bigger things happen, We
Right,
haven't had any hazardous materials lately. We only had that once. I took it to a Hazway day. I took it down to the recycle center. They stored it for hazmat day. But
all right,
anyway,
Vinny, let's move on
okay.
to the next thing so Robbie
okay,
can talk.
Next
He's got-
item is tobacco agent updates. Rob?
I was gonna say, I think it's actually the next one for the food updates. I had a couple of things I just wanted to bring up in regards to some of the establishments and inspections.
Right.
But I know it was something I mentioned, I think last year, but I'd wanted to move us towards putting in a grading system for the restaurant. So that way we had not only us, but also the public had a better idea of how the restaurants were performing. And it was something that we just needed more information on. But Boston officially posted their criteria and how they do their grading and what their point system is and things like that. So I was hoping that it was something we could potentially move forward to for next year. And if that is the case, that we could put it in the renewals or when we send out the renewal letters within the next month or so for the permit holders.
How much
But
work? is that?
basically- It's no different from what I'm doing now, with the exception of I would just print their letter on the spot for them at the end of the inspection. They have, let me actually just pull it up here so I can get the official numbers for you. But they put together the list of what each violation would correspond to for point deductions. So obviously similar to our old system where it started at 100.
Right.
Any critical violations are a penalty of 10 points. A critical violation such as reserving unwrapped food items is a penalty of 7 points. So like lesser violations are worth a little bit less, and then non-critical violations are only 2 points apiece. But I liked how they do their scoring. So obviously a score of 94 to 100 that they treat as an A, from 81 to 93 is a B, and then 80 or fewer is a C.
Okay.
But that causes that if a business scores a C or lower, they are either issued a fine or shut down until the issues are resolved. And anything beyond that is obviously need to come into the board. So anything below a C would be a mandatory meeting. But then they also require restaurants that have continually low scores. They will do one re-inspection within 30 days of the initial inspection. And if it's not cleared up by then, the restaurant themselves would have to pay for additional inspections, which I think might be a better idea where we tend to have certain restaurants that are more problems than others.
Yeah.
That if we can kind of hold them more accountable that way, I think that might be more beneficial for us. The other thing that Boston did, which we could do as well, is the first year that they rolled out the program, they gave the restaurants the option to post their letter or not. But at the end of the first year, they were required to post them at the beginning of the second year.
Okay. So it's not something, is the letter posted like on the door, or is it? You know?
Yeah, in a conspicuous area, either on the door or
Okay,
on the
okay,
exterior
so that's how
window.
people could tell what their rating of that restaurant is. Okay, is
Yes.
it posted like on their website, in other words, or our website, saying that?
If we could post it on the website. That is what Boston
Okay.
did. Boston
You know,
posted them
someone's
on their
gonna-
website and then put them in the windows.
Put them in the window. of
Robbie,
the-
I'm just curious, do you have an image of what they do that you can share with us? Or if
You
not,
could go
maybe we
meet there, you're already
could
there, you're not gonna
next week.
turn around. So Rob, we have a system where 3 criticals on any one inspection, you're automatically before the board, correct? Or for.
That is correct. If you
3
have
would only
3,
take 30 points off, they get a 70, a C. So how does that, is that a lesser thing? Like, now we key on criticals because they're the ones that can cause most injury and danger to the public. The other things are just simply violations of cleanliness or violations of proper procedures, and we rate them less for points, but we also, you missed a critical, it's a non-critical violation. Still got to correct it, but does that point system kind of take into consideration? If you had nothing else wrong but just 3 criticals, I'd be like a little concerned. I went from an A to a C in a heartbeat, going like, wow. So I don't know.
Well,
Just
and
curious.
that's exactly it. Realistically, you should have no criticals when we come in the door.
Right. Okay.
We should be operating under the assumption that you are, doing everything by the book and everything should be properly protected.
Right.
I was gonna say we can amend it as needed, where a 71 is a C and a 70 would be failing, and then that would incorporate the 10 points for 3 criticals, in which case they would
Okay.
come before the board.
Okay, fine. That would, I think that's probably okay. I don't know. What do you guys think about?
I mean, it's good in theory.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it's like they're going back to school, grade school, but that's okay.
No, it's fine, but I mean, I think
It's
it's,
gonna be a little bit of a learning curve for them, but after that, I think you'll find.
I mean, I think my thinking, my train of thought is, you go to that restaurant and you see it,
Yeah, you don't probably, if you see it, you're gonna turn around and say, holy crap.
right, but we're gonna, I mean, granted, everybody should be doing the right thing,
Correct,
no matter what.
right. I agree.
That's how how.
That's why we inspect to make
Yeah,
sure.
but that's
that-
why we inspect, that's why
Right.
we shut things down.
Right.
I mean, but that's something you could research. I mean, how many people call the Board of Health to say, oh, hey, I want to go to such and such place?
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying.
How are they?
Right.
But now when you walk into an establishment and you just see a giant C on the window, you're making people not go there. And it's always going to be that rush. Oh, we went there that one time and there was a C on the window.
Okay, yeah.
I think you have
It's a
the,
stigma. Yeah,
it's a stigma.
yeah, yeah.
And I think, and I mean, granted, everybody should be doing the right thing, no matter
Rob,
what.
how often would that change? Every quarter for us? Is that what we're doing quarterly?
It would theoretically change every inspection in the event that someone
Oh.
did score in the event that someone scores below an A. Their score that they put up is what happens on their reinspection. So if everything is fixed by their reinspection,
Oh,
then they get whatever that grade is.
okay.
Right, but I mean,
In the event
There-
that it is still not fixed, then they would get whatever the lower grade is.
But I mean, there are places in town that we all know would never we're probably gonna get a C if they're lucky.
Yeah, that's.
And
yeah,
there's a
good
line,
thing.
there's a line out the door to go there.
Correct, yeah, I know.
But I mean, you do have these people that, social media out there,
Yeah. yeah.
somebody's gonna walk in and they're gonna see a C
Yeah.
on a door because somebody had a bad day. And it's gonna be all over Facebook. And then that restaurant it probably will never recover because there's a
Right.
stigma that,
It wouldn't be based off of one bad day. It would be multiple bad
Yeah,
days.
right, we're sending people away, yeah. I don't know, Rob, that's a good point Dennis brings up.
I mean,
Let's
it's,
say none of the other towns are doing this. We need to do it as a, called consortium,
Region.
as a region, yeah. That way there, they
Going
can't
down
go
doing it,
running.
You know, I'm like, you think, geez, these towns have, these restaurants have low scores. I'll go to Milford or Franklin.
Yeah.
And then every bit is bad, you know?
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
here's the thing, you know, Dennis probably remembers this. Way back when we had it was Italian and something else, and one of the employees was from Woonsocket, and their parents and their relatives from Asia. They brought in turtles.
Oh
They
my
shipped them
God,
in, which
yeah.
by the way, should have never got through custom, but it did. And the turtles carried a disease, you know, a virus that ended up getting into it. So on that weekend, Sunday,
So it's just before.
I didn't even
Friday.
know there was an epidemiologist on duty. I get a call at Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Mr. Forty, we're going to stand in your chair of the Bellingham Board of Health. I said, yeah. I said, they said, we have a real big problem with one of your restaurants. I said, did you call my health agent? He says, yeah. He wasn't available. He didn't answer his phone. I said, okay, fine. I said, I'll take it. What is it? They said, well, you've got to go immediately go down and shut him down. You got to give him fecal collection devices, which we're sending to you by courier. We'll be there at your doorstep at 9/11 by, they said, don't go before noontime. That's when they opened, actually. So I get down there with these big canisters, because I didn't know how many employees. They just said, we're giving you like 25. You have to give them, they have to sign for it. The manager has to assure that everybody, you know, it's, you know, we have to have a stool sample. They had to take it home with them, then bring it back. They wouldn't be allowed to work unless they provide the sample. First run, nothing. We couldn't. And we'd had reports that people were at Milford with, you know, intestinal issues. So, and they said they ate there. So I said, so what do we do now? So that second time, Agent Graff was back. He went up there. They finally, the kid, I guess, wasn't in. Anyway, that said, that restaurant never recovered. They changed the name. Is it now Mexico? Something like that. Anyway, but it's the very corner of the, we call it Rapid Refill Plaza there. So, you know, I don't know, Rob, if I want to, now that I'm thinking what
but
Mike just said, we could destroy someone's business. And as Dennis said, you're sending them to Franklin, Medway, or Blackstone, which may not be any better, by the way, but they're just not doing this. So I don't know.
I mean, how many of us have gone to the, you know, the Pago or the old AAC? I mean, you know, that place.
Yeah, yeah. You just was hoping you didn't get sick.
Right.
Because it was a good meal. Cheap.
It was, I mean, or
Right.
you go to karaoke on Friday and Saturday nights, you know, next town over, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a big difference between going there and knowing it and then going there and seeing it on the door. I mean,
I don't think it's a letter like 2 feet big, or, you know, I'm pretty sure it's just a small letter
if
that
it's the
people
ones
probably
like,
don't even really notice, to be honest,
yeah,
because
but I know
I
New
had a
York,
lot of restaurants in Boston. I never noticed a letter.
I've seen them in New York. I know New York does something similar, and it's a pretty good sized piece of paper right there on the front door.
It's a standard sized piece of paper, but in the same respect, I mean, I can understand not wanting to turn people away from businesses for business being stigmatized. But in the same respect, if they're failing a second time after getting a re-inspection, which is what their score would be based off of,
Okay.
then we're having problems. So I would rather have people turn away because there's a C on the door than get a call on Monday that they got food
Yeah.
poisoning.
Yeah, okay.
But if they fail a re-inspection, when do we shut them down?
It's usually, what's that, Rob? If Dennis just said, if they fail the reinspection, what's the next step? Do we give them another shot at it, or do we close it down?
So if they, depending on what they are failing for, if there's multiple egregious violations, then they are shut down. If it
Okay.
is something that is just a temperature control issue and they're not staying on top of things like they should be, then they can pay for an additional inspection, and I will come back within 2 weeks, or somebody will be back in 2 weeks, and then their score would be adjusted from their most recent inspection, but they would have to post the score from their re-inspection.
Okay. Would this also go into the fact that, like, we do monitor pest control, we do monitor grease pit, you know, and hood cleaning? Something that it's not critical, but it's obviously taxing to other departments like fire department and the other department to respond to when these things are, you know, the building's on fire because no one was doing their grease maintenance thing. We make that part of our plan now, but that wouldn't get into a score, would it, or would it?
We could add it into a score. I believe that the scoring system, or the way I was intending the scoring system, is to be more food based. So
Right.
obviously your temperature control, your your contamination prevention and overall cleanliness and things like that. So if there's, if there's an unwrapped item in the freezer, yes, it's a violation, but it's a point versus you have 75-degree chicken that's supposed to be under 41.
Yep.
That's a bigger issue.
Or your chicken is over
I
your
mean,
prep salad. You're ready to eat. There's raw chicken above it.
I think this is something that, maybe me personally, I would support, but I think, Dennis has a good point. I think we should, reach out to the surrounding community. So we're not driving business solely out of Bellingham. I mean, Robbie, like you have a very good point. I mean, we would rather turn somebody away,
Then have
an ER full of people that ate bad chicken.
Right.
But I think, people, are willing to drive one, maybe two towns over. I mean, we can't control Rhode Island.
No,
But I think if we get Blackstone, Franklin, Milford, Hopedale, see if we can loop them in on what we're doing and see if we can get them on board. I think it would be better. For
I could
everybody.
definitely make some calls and see if I can get a couple different towns involved.
Yeah,
I was trying to
Especially
just get ahead of
Franklin,
it before
maybe
we sent
Medway,
out the
Blackstone's
renewals.
very small.
Blackstone, Milford. I mean, there's a ton
Milford's
of
big, yeah. Although that's a 15-20 minute drive, but I guess if I saw a C, I don't know if I'd try.
Yeah, but you have Scioli's right down the
Be
street.
able to talk to a lot of.
Yeah,
the
let's see if we
ladies.
can do that and we can put this on the agenda for the next meeting.
Robbie, I'd be curious how people would respond, like if you just start putting the bug in their ear now, when you go to the restaurants, like, hey, we're thinking about this. Just hear what they
I
have to
mean,
say.
If the
It was
restaurant
something I
closes
had
right
mentioned
away,
in,
it's.
it
Sorry,
was
what'd you
something I had mentioned in the past, because when we originally got the previous software, it did that automatically. And when I mentioned that to a lot of the business, they were actually really excited because they said, I can't wait to slap an A up in the window and say that, we're good.
Right. So if
So-
businesses are excited about it and if you have more that are excited versus not, I mean, that's something to take into consideration too.
Yeah, poll it, Rob. That would be probably a good, our next inspection.
Just have a public hearing on it, send them all a notice, all the restaurants,
right.
see the Board of Health is
Yeah, that's a
considering.
good
send
point,
it out there, and at least you get some feedback.
Yeah.
Can we put something up on social media?
Yeah, let's put it this way. If we do a public hearing, and if they don't show, they obviously don't care, but if they show, they'll tell you what they want to see. They'll say, oh, we don't like this idea, and come up with maybe reasoning that Mike just said, whatever, or they say.
I think
"We
that
love it."
Robbie
Well,
has
it
a
does
good
drive
enough
competition
relation.
to get an
I
A.
think Robbie has a good enough relationship with the restaurant establishments that he should be able to tell if they're for it or against it.
That's true.
we
You
all-
could do your own poll, Robbie, and bring it back to us and say, hey, I spoke to this restaurant, they were for it, they were for it, they were for it. And we'll reevaluate it. I don't think it's a bad idea.
No, I think
I
if
could
Robbie
probably
does
wite a
it
short
on the
list of
next inspection,
who
we
would
can
be
have a public
against
hearing
it.
first of the year.
Throw something up on the Facebook page too. You can do the polls on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
if
true.
Bruce, if you throw that up there, I mean, guaranteed, you're gonna have at least 15, 16 different people sharing it.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just to see how it feels. And I mean, we all have we're not strictly related to Bellingham. I mean, I'm sure people share it.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
People in Milford, people in Franklin, people in Medway, Upton. I mean, this could go. I'd say do it. What do you think of, the Board of Health putting scores at restaurants?
Experts would.
I can tell you the Bellingham buzz goes to other towns and other towns come to
Well,
Bellingham.
yeah, but then you're
They
gonna
have
have
neighbors or what do you call it? Friends or relatives.
And
They're
then
all over the place.
reach out to the
So-
Chamber of Commerce. That's, I think, what is it, Tri-Valley now or something like that?
Yeah,
Milford
maybe.
isn't.
Yeah.
And invite them. I mean, they're supposed to be there to advocate for the businesses.
Right.
See what they say.
Does Mass Municipal get that?
I think it's a great idea to reach out to the surrounding towns, Robbie. I know you have a relationship with some of those people just to
Yeah.
get their thoughts on it. Speak to the restaurants and I mean, if you guys really want to do a poll on Facebook, I'm sure we can do that. But I would let Robbie write it up and take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie, do you control the page or does Bruce?
Laura and I have access.
I was gonna say,
I
I do
saw you
not, but I
last
could write something out.
Do it. So, and we can grant Robbie access as well.
Yeah.
And then like Dennis just said, after we get this poll from Robbie and stuff like that, then we could do a public hearing, maybe just invite even other towns.
We'll put the restaurants on notice, this is what we're thinking about doing. We want you
Right,
to know
right.
it.
And that would be good to do at public hearing. Right in the first meeting in January, so by the 31st, when they renew their permits, they know that, well, they're not gonna not renew, but they know that something's gonna happen, you know. I don't know.
Please get some traction going. We can
Right,
do, we
right.
can do research on our end. I think January would be good.
Yeah,
You know, we do research on our end, give the establishments plenty of time so that they can't say, oh, we just finding out, or, oh, we
right, yeah,
missed
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know, we've been advertising this since,
Right.
you know, September 20th, that we're gonna be.
Right, yeah, that's right. That gives us a period to work into it. That's a good idea.
Rob, you mentioned they didn't start to post the scores until the second term or the second year, or?
Yeah, so when Boston rolled out the program, they automatically posted the scores to their website, which I don't know if we have the capability of doing at this moment, or if it's something we could even add. But they did give the business the option for the first year that they could either post their letter grade or not. But at the end of the first year, whatever the score was, they had to post it from their next inspection for year two. So
Yeah, but that's,
It would
that's
give people
Boston.
some-
I mean, how many restaurants are in Boston? I mean, Boston, I mean, we're Bellingham, what do we have? 20?
we still have 100 establishments
no.
with food permits.
We got a lot. We're pretty amazing. I think we have. quite a few.
100 restaurants, like pizza places.
100 food establishments.
Foods.
Right, but a food establishment
Oh, you mean
also.
full dress? You know,
Yeah,
full prep.
I'm talking, you
I don't
know,
know.
McDonald's, Dunkin's, you know, Coachman's. I mean, how many are there? Maybe what, 50 at the most?
I don't know, Rob, you got?
Rob, what do you think on that? That's a good point.
Close to 50, yeah.
What's the 50? Okay.
I say don't give them the year, immediately just roll it out and have them start doing. I mean, Boston is a huge, I mean, there's.
Oh, you're
that-
saying the year was because it was Boston.
It's
They may
Boston.
have
There's-
200 or 300 or
There's
400.
thousands.
Oh, thousands. Okay.
Restaurants in Boston. I mean, you gotta think every cafeteria in a business in the financial district, that's
Yeah,
a
and
food
not to mention
establishment.
Boston includes all the surrounding communities. It's not
Right, I
just
mean, we have,
Boston.
we have
what
50,
do you call that?
you know, at the most, don't give them the year. And
Okay.
again, this is why we
Okay.
put it out.
I thought you were going the other way on this. Okay. I
Yeah,
see
no,
what
which is
you're
why again, we're putting it out September 20th.
yeah.
We talked about it at
Getting
this
feedback,
meeting.
yeah.
You know, Robbie, I assume you're not gonna, you know, hit the ground running, but you're gonna start your polling. If we put a Facebook poll up, hey, how does the public feel about this? Nobody can say we didn't know. And the restaurants start doing the right thing, that the Board of Health is
Right, right.
looking into it. So if you're not doing the right thing, this gives them time to start doing the right thing. So when Robbie and
Right.
Bruce show up in January to start doing the inspections, oh, we didn't know we have to put this C in our window. Yeah, you did.
And Rob, where places are close together, it does drive competition. Nothing's better for business, you know, I think, than competition.
Well, we're not looking for competition.
No,
We're
no, I'm
just-
saying competition to get an A.
Yeah,
The guy next door got an A. I'm gonna make sure. I
right.
get
But
an A.
again, Dennis has a good point. We at least need to get the bug out to the surrounding communities because,
Correct.
you know, oh,
Yeah.
Bellingham has, you know, out of 50 restaurants, oh, you know, 90, not 99, you know, like trying to think of a restaurant, you know, Chili's has a C. Well, I can go to, you know, Acapulco's in Milford,
Right,
know, and-
okay,
just that sort of thing.
okay, yeah. But again, you know, you take collectively all the restaurants and they're not for it, even though Rob said some thought it'd be a great idea. I don't know how many you polled, Rob, but you know, like I said, it could be like, you're just looking at a little nucleus that want to do this.
And do we know what is the rating system objective, Robbie, or is it something that you've put together, or, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure it's very objective.
Well, no, what he says goes by the rating is by critical violations of 10, something less critical, 7. And if you just then have, what he said, something unwrapped, it's 1 point. You can start with 100, you only lose 1 point, big deal, it's an A.
You
Pretty
better
sure
have
he said that the program that he uses automatically does the letter grading.
face.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It's,
Yeah, we've had that
it's a
before.
subjective.
It's a different
process.
thing, yeah,
I'm
okay,
just thinking a little sub shop down the street. that has a
Right,
great
right.
business there. You put a C up there on their door and all of a sudden their business cuts in half. Guess what?
right,
They're gonna sue, you know,
yeah.
they're not gonna get sued, but.
No, but they're gonna be here.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, the Board of Health's out of control, or the tobacco, the food agent is, whatever. Okay, well, no, it's, we give Rob the reins, and if, you know, doesn't go
I
well,
think if
we
we just
assume.
give everybody, I mean, now that everybody has enough notice, you know,
Yeah,
this isn't
yeah.
something, I mean, I mean, I think this could go either way. You know, you could either, you know, put a black mark on a business forever, or, you know, a business can excel. And I think Rob brought up a very, very good point. again, we'd rather, a restaurant be known for, hey, you're eating here, taking a chance, than getting, again, I can say all of us, probably everybody in this room has at least been to the, the Pago Pago or the
Yeah, yeah.
AAC, and
Right.
we're taking a chance.
And we have a couple in town that, like,
Rob,
we have to do a lot of work with them. to help
Christian
them.
Black, who was in Uxbridge, started grading over there, and then she went to, I think it's Westboro maybe. But I can reach out to her too and see what they did and how they graded, give us some pointers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were
I
using
know
the
that.
same-
I believe Uxbridge used the same software that we did previously. I mean,
Right,
the new
food
software
software.
does the same thing with the exception
Yes.
of actually putting the number up, but
Yep.
it still generates and tells you how many criticals there were and so on and so forth. And then you just, add those accordingly. But yeah, I have no problem making some calls, and I could reach out to the restaurants and see what their input are. I can probably make you a short list of who would say no, but they're also probably the ones that receive fines. So
It'd be interesting to know what it would look like right now. Like, are we talking half the restaurants in town are gonna be slapped with Cs? I mean, I think that's the type of thing that.
Yeah, I don't think so, Dennis. I think we only have a small nucleus.
But I think that's what you want to see.
Right, right. And
I think
I can name a few that constantly being fined.
Yeah.
And
I can say comfortably that a majority of our establishments are really good. I mean, typically it's only very minor things or something that's corrected while I'm there, and in which case, there's a little bit of leniency between, something that's clear and obvious, or somebody just, like you said earlier, Mike, like somebody's having a bad day and it
Got
won't
to
happen again, kind of thing.
I mean, the few that we had trouble with, Rob and I spent a lot of time with, showed them how to do better.
How would I think Chili's, are they still doing a ghost kitchen too?
what does that mean?
There's another, it's like a wing place is using Chili's
Oh,
kitchen
really?
to do their
Takeout.
takeout only.
Okay.
So how would it work? 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't know if
how
that
would it work
place,
for
I don't know if that place is still doing it, but I know what they did for a period of time.
It would be whoever the permit holder is. So if the
Okay.
permit holder for the kitchen is Chili's, then it would be Chili's that
Chili's,
would be
yeah,
getting the
so-
store. It would be the establishment.
So in other words, if they had somebody in there doing something wrong, could they really, it affected Chili's, they're gonna get rid of them.
Yeah.
Pretty easy, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like,
Like I said, alternatively, nobody should really be cooking in that kitchen unless they're also a permit holder. So if it was an issue like that, then we could definitely have
Yeah,
two
that's true.
separate letters and two separate permits.
Yeah, that's true. They should have separate permit, yeah.
Yeah, like some of the supermarkets, right, Rob? With like,
Yeah, I think Market Basket
you
has
have
a
several
separate sushi
establishments under one roof.
and things like that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, but they also have like strict guidelines. It's 45 minutes, this goes out, 30 minutes, this
yeah,
goes out.
I'm not worried about like the Whole Foods or anything
Yeah,
like
no,
that. I'm worried about the mom and pops.
No, but I mean,
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
segmented, there's a sushi, there's a sandwich, I mean, there's some of the places we go.
I
in
ate
there-
Market Basket sushi and I'm absolutely fine.
Oh, it's good.
Well, okay, I won't tell you my market basket. today. But should I, Rob?
No, no.
I know your Market Basket, so it's.
Okay. By the way, I'm glad they have a lot of new managers, so I don't get the same person going, oh, no, it's him again. So anyway, brand new guy,
They have your picture on the wall.
I know, yeah.
If I
Most-
might, I was gonna say, if I might say too, I think Mike does have a good idea about putting a poll up there. If we put something out to the public on the page to see what their input is, I think that most of the public would be interested to know, or at least comforted to know, that the places that they're eating at have,
Yeah,
decent grades. Theoretically, anybody could go into any establishment, request the most recent inspection report at any time. It's posted. So
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
just the difference of having it more, open and obvious of, oh, it was a good reporter, not so great. So, but that's just, again, my personal opinion.
Well,
I
most
know when I
people
was in New
do
York,
that.
I didn't eat anywhere that was under an A. So
yeah, I know my family would be pulling that thing up and using their phone to.
Yeah, but the other thing too is even if you said it's an 8.5 by 11, is that your standard page size?
yeah, just a standard
Okay.
paper. It would just
I
be
mean,
printed.
I
on the
don't even
spot.
know if people notice since there's so many things on doors these days.
No, you notice, I'll pull a picture. You'll notice.
You'll see it, okay. But again, will people look at it? I don't know.
You can't miss it.
You can't, okay, fine.
I honestly think starting a poll could be pretty fun. just to
It
to
could,
see
I
where
think
it
that's,
goes.
yeah.
Who's
To be
gonna-
honest.
You know, but honestly, who's gonna object and say, no, it's a bad idea as far as the public's concerned? Nobody.
Probably
So
nobody.
Anybody
Well,
who
then
looks at the poll is gonna say, I think you need, I think if you were gonna implement it, fine, but I think you need to bring the business community and
I
say,
agree,
this is
Vinny,
what we're
yeah.
thinking about
Oh.
doing.
Really?
You
Wow.
know, what are,
Okay, is
how
that
can
big?
we make
That
this
A
work
on
for
there?
you
Yeah,
as well?
but then
So-
they're different,
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, like I say, you take one of these mom and pop sub shops and slap a, whatever on there, and
I
all of a
see.
sudden, they're out of business in
Yeah.
2 weeks because of it.
Yeah,
This is-
yeah.
You're gonna hear
the
about
color coded.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, oh, they called, okay,
it.
great.
We're not,
Um,
not exactly the city of New York,
No, we're not.
you know?
no,
Okay, I think Rob, go ahead and, next time you're doing your inspections, which is what? Is it October? Or,
I have a number that I'm finishing up before the end of this month, and when I start next
I would
quarters,
poll them
I
and
can
then
bring it up
get
as well.
on the website with Bruce and Laura and see if you can develop stuff there. And then again, Bruce will reach out and you can reach out to a couple of agents. And I mean, I'm not sure if the other towns are all agents doing it or do they have a food inspector like you?
A little bit of both.
A little both, okay, so we can
So-
reach out to those people and see if, they're interested in doing that in their towns. And I'm sure they're gonna say like, what other people say, like, wow, great, if we all do it together, and we won't have people running to another town for a Mexican meal because one restaurant got a bad time,
Or just how many towns have done it
Yeah.
and get some feedback on how it's gone.
right?
You know, maybe
Yeah.
it's going great. It'd be nice to know other towns our size or comparable. that have
Correct,
done
yeah,
it
yeah.
And how it's going.
Yeah.
you know?
so Robbie did say that the program that he uses right now basically gives a letter grade. So
It does, yeah.
looking at that, like, what's the letter grade that you see the most? What's,
Yeah, Rob, that's
is
good.
there a lot of C's? Is there a lot of B's, more A's? Like, I mean, I think that would
We are
help.
we are a majority of A's with a couple of B's and a handful of C's, which have had some very intense meetings and trainings and so on and so forth each time that I've gone in. But it was more for the purpose of there's only so much that we can do besides telling people that you need to fix that, where it only becomes effective. I can tell you that there's some restaurants that I've had the same conversation with 6, 7, 8 times, and it's still not fixed. But
Yeah.
there's nothing I can do because it's not what I am saying and what I am telling them to do just isn't registering. So if the public stops going, maybe that gets the point across. Not that obviously we want to put anyone out of business, but people need to understand that there are repercussions to their actions, especially when it's something public health related. I mean, if you have the opportunity to kill somebody by serving them bad food, you need to smarten up about it.
And Rob, those Cs are lucky because it did happen in this town with Uno's and it did happen with another restaurant where they food poisoned several people, and when you get the hospital physician calling you saying, what is going on, and then you have to do an investigation as the board and the agent, and we happen to call Framingham and several other
You get calls.
chains.
You get
No,
calls from neighbors.
and they had violations in the hundreds, and food poisoning
What are you talking about?
when we had to close down Uno's for 30 days. Corporate came from New York. We closed them down. They poisoned,
When did we close Nuno's down?
it was, I don't know, probably my third or fourth year.
7, 8 years ago?
Oh, no, it was way,
But I don't
it was
know.
probably around 2099, 2000, But here's the joke. Well, it's not a joke. Lisa Matola and her daughter got Caesar salad.
Yeah.
And the guy was, I don't know, a kid, 18-year-old. He was slaughtering the chicken to prep it for the grill guy, taking the same knife and go like that on his, what do you call it, apron,
Salmonella.
doing the thing there. Salmonella, I mean, they got pumped for and they stayed there for 2 days. The
That
poison,
sounds
the
like- That's different than.
right,
Yeah.
but we would have never known that, the entire, this seaboard, like Uno's restaurants, I used to always go with the military to Uno's in Framingham. They had 100 violations in a year. And they had,
And who issued the 100 violations?
It was the Board of Health up there, but who communicates
Well, I
with
thought you
them?
were talking about in our.
No. In our town, they had two separate people the same time.
I think as long, I guess what I'm saying, Vinny, as long as there's a process and
Right,
everybody
right,
understands
right.
it, and you don't wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden you're putting a business.
Right, no.
As long as there's a
They
process
corrected
and they
it. I would
understand
never
how it's
say
gonna work,
you'd
I
have to
mean,
worry about it
you know,
again.
that's why I
was-
think you bring the business community. And
Correct,
as
right.
Robbie's saying,
Right.
it'd be a badge of honor for some
Right.
of them to have the A up
Right,
there, you know, and they'll like that.
In the
There's only
case,
a
of-
handful that are gonna have low grades, and I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
in the case of Uno's,
Yeah.
they fired that employee and then everything went back to normal.
I think if we get I mean, the polling, yeah, everybody's gonna say yes, but it's the input that we're gonna get from it.
Right.
Just.
In the
Go ahead,
case of restaurants that get low grades too, though, it's low grade after we've already told them what they need to fix and they have
Right.
neglected to do so
That's
for
the
30
key point.
days.
You've already given
So-
the second top. two
Yeah,
to fix
I
it.
just-
They fix it. They don't get the low grade.
I would
They
like
don't
to,
fix it.
I would like to put the poll out,
Yeah,
have
okay,
the
right.
public hearing.
Right.
And really just see it and send the feelers out. You know, we have a lot of homework to do before January.
Oh, yeah.
And
Makes it more accountable though.
yeah, it makes it more accountable, but again, there's always, it's a double-edged sword. You know, because you don't want to hurt that mom and pop's business.
Right.
And when I say, I mean like the true mom and pop, you know,
Yeah.
Black Hawk Pizza,
Yeah,
you know, I think they also own the pizza shop across Rosewood.
Yep.
You know, that's,
Town pizza.
yeah, that's,
Yes.
I mean, Rosewood, that you have one man running that place.
Yeah,
You know, or his son, I think his son's taken over now too.
Yeah.
You know, Black Hawk Pizza, you walk in there, it's the same people, no matter what day of the week you go in there.
Yeah.
And they own, I think is it Town's Pizza across from Rosewood? You know, the parents own that one.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Mike,
It's-
I understand about the mom and pops thing, but you have to remember, like, we're the Board of Health and we're supposed to protect the public.
We are
So if
protecting the
people
public.
aren't doing their job to keep their business clean, then it's our job to make sure that they do. So how do you enforce that if Robbie keeps going in there and he's repetitively telling them, you have to do this, you have to do that, and they're not doing it, and then
Right.
the public gets sick? Like, how are you
I'm
gonna
just
address
saying-
that?
I'm just saying, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
That's just something we just have to be mindful of, you know, and my train of thought is, again, somebody having a bad day. And, you know, they do have time to correct that, to fix it, to rectify it. And if they're not doing the right thing, yeah, they shouldn't be in business. You know, but
But we
it's,
have six that they're having bad years, all the way pre-COVID and during COVID. I don't know,
Right.
everybody lost the art of cleanliness. It was the fines and the outrageous criticals were unbelievable. But anyway, that's corrected now with post-COVID.
right, and I'm
But
not
if you
worried
look
about
at those six out of 120 or 100, let's say 100, that's 6%.
Right.
That's not that much. However, those probably, once they realize it's a point thing, they're gonna probably say, okay, I got it.
right, and
Maybe, I don't know. you
and
know.
that's why we're putting the information out now.
Right.
So that they're ready for it. You know, if they need to make a financial investment in getting a new cooler, getting a cooler fixed, you know, so the temperatures are held right. If they need to put, you know, like we were talking about doors,
That automatically
doors,
close, yeah, so they don't stay
gaskets,
wide open.
they have plenty of time to make the investment to
Right.
do it so that they can get going. And so when Robbie, you know, walks in there in January and says, here's your B or here's your C, you can't say you didn't know because we've been talking about it. We posted it
Yeah.
on social media. It's on our website, you know, and we had a public hearing.
Right. Okay. But again, I think the public hearing too would come sort of last in the cycle
Right.
before we implement.
No, yeah, exactly.
And you know, no one says we have to implement on January 1, it could be February 1. It's whatever time frame, so we get all the information. Robbie will contact and Bruce and Laura will let him on, you know, if we decide to use social media, which everybody seems to do, to just input. And would that be just the restaurants initially or public?
No, if we
too?
put it on
Everything.
social media, that thing's gonna end up on the Bellingham page and probably within 30 seconds.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everybody has a shot at it. And I guess, you know, looking at it from somewhat Dennis's point of view, but also look at what Trish just said. Those people that just haven't been getting it for 2 or 3 years, they're so lucky. They go buy a lottery ticket because we haven't had anybody poisoned in a lot of years in Bellingham.
Right,
Knock on wood, that's good.
right. I just, you know,
The
it would
last
just,
one was 2002. Well, three.
you know, we just need to make sure, you know, that everything we do, and Robbie, I think is, you know, very, has a lot of integrity.
Yeah.
So I don't think we really need to worry about being biased
But I
about.
can tell you, when you get a call from the state or a call from an emergency room physician at Milford,
No,
going,
no,
you
it's,
need to fix something there. You know,
no,
I got several people that I'm gonna keep them for 48 hours. I'm pumping their stomachs, and you have food poisoning issue. You
right.
know, and I'm going like, who am I? I wasn't even the food inspector. You know, I'm calling Mike.
But obviously, we have a process.
Right. And I think if we do this the right way and give them
No, I'm
3
just
months.
saying, we do inspections now.
Right,
And
right.
they weren't maybe as comprehensive as they.
They probably were not, but the point was, even when we're doing real comprehensive and places aren't getting it, they're real lucky, and I'm knock on wood, I like that, because they would be out of business if somebody gets ill, and
Well,
Because it
you know, we are, like Tricia said, we are tasked with safety. I just,
Right.
you know, it is a very, it's a fine line.
right, you know, it cuts both ways, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
double-edged sword, so.
Okay, Rob, so since we did food first, are we all set on food?
Yes.
Okay, let's move over to tobacco, and again, maybe you should update the board, because I heard something today and I said, really, this can't happen. The BP station is still selling tobacco products
They
after
are.
we gave them a month or so, which would have been the end of August or the beginning of August, I can't remember, to get rid of all their supplies.
That
And
has since been
now
corrected.
People come, hey, they're still selling.
I bought this there and there's no tobacco on the shelves.
I was gonna say, they had been still selling, I think it was shortly after Labor Day. But
Okay.
that Tuesday, I went back to the store with an additional cease and desist. And we had a conversation with the owners. They are not selling at the moment. They are pursuing, obviously, other avenues to potentially get their permit, but at this point, they are no longer selling.
Okay, good. Okay,
We've gone to the store and spoke to them in
okay,
great detail one way.
okay, that's good. Okay, so I guess that takes care of that. Okay, so next item was the warrant for the betterment loan, is that it?
Yeah, we want to put
Yeah,
in the fall meeting of one.
Yeah, that's
To
true.
get another 400,000, and including that,
Okay.
the de-letting and the oil tank.
We can try, I just don't
I
know if
know,
that, I don't know if that pollution abatement trust loan, even though it says all that, it used to say asbestos.
Did you submit that yet? Anybody submit that? Because that was supposed to be submitted like a month ago.
No,
Did
for
you
the,
have a warrant
we're
article?
not doing November, right? We're doing
Are
May.
you talking May?
Mary.
Oh, Mary did, okay.
You talking November?
Yeah, I think Mary has information for that.
Well, I don't think anything's been submitted because I know
All right, let me
somebody's
check
got a
with her.
warrant, but we need to talk about that tomorrow. then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Actually, I did talk with Mary about it and Hillary about 2 weeks ago, and Mary said she was gonna put it in and she just needed to make sure the board approved it tonight.
Okay,
Okay, I haven't seen it.
okay.
Okay,
When's the closing of that, Dennis? And
it's closed,
it's closed, okay.
but
fine.
you can still, I mean, we can still add it. I mean,
Okay,
Yeah, we
fine.
talked about 2-3
the
weeks.
selectmen are gonna sign it on Monday.
Well, all it is technically, Dennis, in a sense, it's the wording and
Yeah.
putting a town meeting.
Yeah.
Town doesn't put in a nickel. They just
No,
approve
I
the
know,
wording.
I understand, I'm not
And-
objecting to it, I'm just
Right,
saying.
right. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we don't want to miss deadlines.
Yeah,
I-
it just, it needs to get in there now.
Okay, so can I just ask for a, what do you call, a motion to approve the betterment loan warrant for the town meeting, November town meeting?
Motion to approve the betterment loan process for the November town meeting.
Okay, Trish?
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstained, carried. Okay. Approved, okay. Okay, and then, I mean, I guess, Laura and Bruce, you can ask to see if Mary can call the pollution abatement trust and see if we can add, what we think, oil tank.
Oil tanks and the de-letting.
And
process.
de-letting. I really think I've already done this before years ago. They said no. That was just the wording when they started the trust in 1995. And then they quickly, before 99, in those days, only 250 was the loan. Now it's higher because there's very few towns in it. But they had removed all that other stuff. They said, because those were carryover, we call statements or sections of that money that goes to that pollution abatement trust. But those things were null and void now. So the only thing, when this disappears, will be when septics are I guess there's no septic left, they're all repaired. That should take a long time. Probably be dead. Anyway, whatever.
Me too.
So anyway, so we can do that.
School inspections.
Okay, school inspections.
School inspections done. Everybody passed very well. The
Perfect.
high school has one cooler station that's in the process of being updated. It's not being used currently. And hopefully by the next round of inspections, they've been able to replace it. But other than that, everything went really well. Everything's cleaned up. All of the supplies that are current and expiration
Okay.
dates and
Good.
very good job. They do a nice job over there.
So one other quick thing, I was thinking of this before and I didn't throw it out there, but like right now, our sign sitting out there, one that's at the senior center, that one paid by us, that's set up and ready to go. You know, the signs that we're using for COVID and doing for other stuff. I got this idea. I said, well, you know, if it's sitting there, we're not using it, we can put it there, we can move it to different ends of the town.
We can use it, but currently the DPW is using it to
Okay,
run an ad. They're short-staffed and they're trying to
The
Okay.
plows. fine.
recruit some.
okay, well,
people.
when we get it back, it's never too late. And I think we need to educate people on littering and, use the old adage. We can put there, if you see someone littering, just say
Call me.
something, call the Board of Health.
Call me.
Yeah, call me, whatever, no. But, and I thought that would be a nice thing to do, because we have a sign, entering Bellingham, we've said, keep Bellingham safe, try not to go crazy when you're driving out there. Keep Bellingham clean, and I realized on October
Yeah,
1st,
that's-
we have some group that Kelly had said, she was trying to get them for years to come, that group that's gonna do the cleanup,
So you want the sign to say something else?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. When we're not using it, let's,
Why don't we have a contest for the schools, the elementary school?
okay, what should it say?
Have the kids come up with the slogan,
That's
don't litter.
Yeah.
And,
But I do like the
Like we
idea,
did for the Earth Day shirts.
what we did with the Earth Day shirts and,
Yeah.
and, give them a
Little gift card.
gift
Yeah,
card
okay.
to,
that's fine, we can do that. And I like the idea, you
Dairy
see,
Queen.
everything in this world now is see something, say something,
Well, we can't, we can't put that for littering.
okay.
We'll have the TSA down here.
I
But
don't
no, I mean,
You can.
put it out to the elementary school kids and, just come up or middle
Well,
school.
Put it this way, if you say like, you see something, say something, it does go on the buzz. Believe me, times people go crazy on that thing.
Yeah, but if we just reach out to the schools and just
Okay, that's fine.
come up with
We-
just a
we-
slogan.
We had done gift cards. Actually, they were like Visa gift cards. Tricia's daughter won one of the awards for the.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
one of the shirts.
Just,
yeah.
just something like that.
I just thought, I know winter's coming. Once winter comes, you can't see any trash until spring. But
So, on that group that's coming in that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You saw the correspondence, they want to put an advertisement. Did you see what they're looking to do? Did you get that email?
I think I saw it. Yeah, I don't know if I read it all the way down, because I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to make it, but
Yeah, I mean, they're saying 2 hours, we can give them a couple of locations, but they're looking to have people sign up online to join them, and I just don't know, I mean, we do it once a year. Earth
Right,
Day,
right. But that's a big to-do for us, and we always do it, and it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea.
I agree 100%.
But I think people should do it,
but
buy
trying to
their
do
house
it-
every day.
Trying to do it right now, I just, I mean.
Yeah.
They're reaching out, I know they're reaching out to Bruce and they're reaching out to me saying
Hmm.
they want people to meet here, they wanna, I don't know. I don't know that, you know how much work we do to get
Oh, yeah,
30
yeah.
people here, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who they're gonna get here without.
You think they're gonna get a lot, a real lot? I don't
I
know.
don't think they're gonna get anybody,
Okay,
how are
okay,
people gonna know about
right.
it,
I mean,
I
if you
mean,
want,
they're saying they're coming down,
And
and I hope, I hope they do get a lot of people, but.
are they saying you gotta supply your own gloves and everything?
No, they're saying they'll supply that.
Okay, fine,
Yeah.
and bags.
So Vinny, this is what they do. They go different towns and they clean it up, and this isn't their first rodeo. I actually shared it on Facebook too
Oh,
and
okay.
told people to reach out to them directly.
Okay,
And I think I sent it to Laura as well and said, this is probably coming to you in case, people start asking questions or whatever. But yeah, this isn't like a new thing. This is something that they do all the time and they go town to town. So I'm sure they even have their own people that do it.
oh, okay.
I don't, I'll send, did you see the email they sent? with their sign up docs, I mean, they've got I'll send it to you. They have a link. If you want to participate, you know, they want you to pre-register.
Okay, and
I'll
virtually.
I'll send it to you. I know Bruce has it.
Yeah, I might have gotten it
Yeah,
if,
you might have got.
if you
so
sent it to Laura, I probably got it.
We'll get that out there. Just,
Okay,
you know, I mean, it's great. I just hope they do bring some people with them.
now when they pick up all these bags, who picks the bags up?
That's what they asked. They asked the town to pick them up, which is
Okay,
fine. We'll make
That's
sure
fine,
we-
yeah, I think we could do
Yep,
that.
we'll do that.
Right.
Yeah, we'll support them. It's just, I wish
Sure.
it was closer to Earth Day, but obviously they can't.
Yeah,
do
I know.
everybody on Earth
Yeah,
Day.
yeah,
They're doing 351 cities and towns.
Correct, yeah, okay, so they're all over Massachusetts, okay.
All over Massachusetts.
But Kelly said for 2 years, she was trying to get them
Yeah.
for an Earth Day. So
Oh,
it
for
took
Earth
2
Day,
years to get
yes.
back to
Yeah.
us, so.
Yeah, they definitely,
yeah,
we'll put it on our website. Trish, I'll send it to you so you can send it to you, wherever you have it posted.
Okay, great.
I put their, that email actually on,
Facebook page.
yeah, it's on Facebook and
good.
it's, and once you click on it, it brings, all the information up. I don't know if it had a
Okay.
sign up sheet, but I'll go check right now.
Check and see. I think that's what the link, I think you click on that and it brings up, I know what I had, it brings up their sign up sheet. If not, I'll get it to you.
So
All right,
Trish,
I'll check
just
right.
what Dennis echoed. You have no idea how many people are coming?
No, they're their own like committee that go town to town and they thrive on cleaning up trash, so.
Yeah, I'll be,
Great
if
for
you
us.
want to meet here at the municipal center, I'll make sure, you know, I have it open. I'll
Okay,
make
okay,
sure
so
the
that's fine.
DPW
Right.
knows to pick up the bags, so we'll get that part done.
Okay,
Great.
and they don't need a detail, like they'll stay off the roads.
Yeah. And
Correct.
one other thing, trash related, since you're on trash, you know that the ban goes in effect November 1 for mattresses and box springs.
Okay,
So we will be, right now, we pick them up at the curb. We'll be sending something out soon. We pick them up at the curb for nothing.
right,
There will be a fee beginning November 1st
Okay.
because the hauler actually has to bring them to a place where they take them apart
Right.
and shred them and recycle the wood and recycle the
The metal,
metal
yeah,
and
yeah,
the textile. So there will be a fee.
Right.
We'll have them accepted at the recycling center at no charge. We have a bin that we got a grant for. So there'll be a recycling bin at the recycling center. I mean, a mattress bin at the recycling center. People will be able to bring it there at no charge.
oh, okay,
Probably the first one or two, otherwise we'll have people bringing them in from everywhere, so.
right.
Or
It'll be like
we do with
tires, you get
TVs.
4, TVs, you get 1.
Yep, so it'll be
Okay.
something like that, that goes into effect November 1st.
ACs are still free and other stuff like that. still.
Everything else is the same. The concern is that we're gonna start seeing these things thrown on the side of the road.
Yeah, I know,
But anyway,
or at the donation bins.
yeah, or in the donation bin. So if they want it, if residents want it picked up at the curb, they'll call Harvey.
Got
Harvey
it.
will pick it up.
So that's the
It'll
way
be
the
a-
charge is, if you want to pick up the curb, but if you haul it down with your car or your truck to the recycling center, let's say 2 a year, well, if you count the mattress and box springs,
Yeah,
that
we'll
one,
take one,
is that two?
we'll take 2 sets a year.
2 sets.
Because the thing is, we have to pay to get rid of them, but that'll be a part of the user fee that people are paying to get rid of their trash, so. We'll
Fine.
take them there at no charge,
Okay,
so
fine.
everybody will have an option to get rid of them for free.
So
Okay.
Dennis, I looked at our Facebook page and yes, it does have the sign up on it as well.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
okay, sorry.
Yeah,
All right, hopefully,
Um, if
and
you
I'll get
have-
it on our webpage as well.
yeah, that'd be good. And then we should probably send it out to the schools too, because there might be some kids that need community service hours that might be willing to do that as
That's a
well.
good point.
That's a
And
great idea.
Boy
I'll-
Scouts or
And
Girl
I'll send
Scouts,
it to the police as well, the detectives, because they know the people that maybe have to do community service as well.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
great
yeah.
idea.
perfect.
Good. And then you have
Fine,
the
listen to that.
information on Harvey's, Dennis. We can share that on our page too. That would be good.
Yep, as soon as, we're supposed to have it firmed up tomorrow, how much it'll cost if you want it picked up
At
curbside.
your house.
But I would anticipate, we'll get the word out soon. I'd anticipate anybody that has a mattress in their house will get rid of it
Right.
at the curbside before November 1st.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now, regular white goods, same thing.
Everything else is
It's
the
the same.
same. It's
That's
just
correct.
that as,
That's fine.
you know, the ban on mattresses and box
Textiles.
springs. And textiles, right.
Yeah.
Technically, you're not supposed to throw clothes away in your trash.
Yeah.
Which makes those.
That's
bins
why those bins are everywhere.
Yeah, you just think they willing to put it in the bin.
An extra large, oversized bin down at the recycle
Yeah.
center.
Yeah, yeah. guess we'll try to keep them dry, because I remember there's something when you call DPW, they said, don't put it out if it's raining,
Right.
cover it,
Well, now it's probably not as big a deal because they rip it apart. But anyway, we do have,
Okay.
at the recycling center, we have a mattress. We're gonna have a mattress container. So
Fine,
we'll actually
just like
have
TV
top-
sets and electronics. yeah.
It actually, what it's gonna be is like one of those shipping cans, you know.
Oh, okay, fine.
So,
Yeah.
So do we have a breakdown of how much everything costs that you bring to the recycling center? Is it
Yeah,
on the website or?
it is posted on the town's website. If
Yeah.
you go to recycling
Yeah.
center, TVs, the first one's free.
Right.
Same thing with tires. Your first 4 every year are free. After that, there's a fee.
$5 a tire.
Yeah, the
$5.
fee's just assessed on your bill. There's no cash transactions at the recycling center.
And the other thing too is the TVs, if you get your first one free, get rid of the biggest one, because then it's what, 15 to 25 is
Right.
$20, and then 25 and above is $25 or $30.
But everything else is free. Propane tanks
Yeah,
are free.
yeah, yeah.
Paint, you can get rid of it anytime down there with the paint container.
Yeah.
Any heavy metals, white goods,
Right,
it's all
right,
free.
yeah.
Of course, you can put it at the curbside for free too, so. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
why you haul it to the recycling center, but
Well, sometimes, it's
you want
like,
to get rid of it in a hurry.
yeah, either that or, if you're at Thursday and it's Saturday coming up, you got to hold till the following Thursday. You might as well just bring it down.
Yeah.
Unless it's something that
If you have a truck, yeah.
yeah, but the other thing too is like, I used to laugh. If you put anything, not so much a refrigerator, but put anything metal out there, stove, a hot water tank, the scrap I used to call, what's her name? Anyway, Claire, and I'd say, I never mind. I don't even call them anymore. If I put it out there, it's gone in less than 5 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yep, they're scrapping it.
Joke.
You get paid for it.
And then some people will come by and say, hey, if you get any more, here's my card. I put my son through college on scrap. I'm going, okay. I said, I'm probably not gonna have that much, I usually tear everything apart anyway. Okay,
What do we got?
okay,
Teresa-
bills, we got,
We get Teresa Road first.
Have a good night.
okay, thanks, Dennis.
Oh, Teresa Road septic,
Oh, Teresa Road,
real quick.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
It's a Presby.
okay. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Yellow sheet. right
Yellow
there.
sheet right in front of me, all
Yeah.
right. All right, motion to approve the reduction of the system to groundwater distribution to allow 3 inches where 3 feet, while 5 feet is required for 336 Teresa Road. Motion to approve.
Second that, Trish?
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
That's
Aye.
it.
Aye, opposed,
Presby
abstained, so
system.
carried. Yeah.
And under remedial repair, you're allowed to do that by right with Presby, but we've made it. so
We always-
Mike understands, it's a typical waiver, if it
Right.
weren't a Presby system that goes through,
Okay,
and we just.
We have to
been-
motion, in this
We've been
case.
making the motion whether we need to or not
Or
on
not,
that
yeah.
particular one, but the Presby does have special dispensation to go closer because of the technology.
Not 3 inches.
so.
It's
past my bedtime.
That's okay. It's like, that would be a special DEP approval and you'd never get it.
3 inches, I don't think you get that anywhere.
You wouldn't get that anyway. Just being a wise
That's okay.
guy. Like you said, it's getting late.
All right, you want me to take care of the bills, Vinnie?
But Trish, I guess, we don't have to have Trish sign, or you could come in and sign if you want. 2 is fine. Okay. Bills. Is that it? Okay, you go, Mike.
I could pull it up if you want.
It's the,
336, Teresa?
yeah.
All right, so you want me to do the bills?
I got them right here, Trish.
Oh, all right.
I wish you
Pulled it
guys
up.
would put an extra $1 in on this one, though. Motion to approve Solomon VNA Hospice for $666.66.
That's the, I know, it's the same thing every month.
Yeah. It's not the 666.
All right, I second that.
Okay, all those
Then
in
they
favor
add
say aye.
a 1 to that.
Yeah, can we add next month? Can we just give them an extra $1?
Yeah.
Just really?
I second that.
Well, we give them 34 cents. That's
Yeah,
all we really need to give.
motion to approve the MHOA annual conference.
Mike, that needs to say 600, not 550 was a typo. The actual bill is in the
Oh.
packet underneath,
Okay, so it's
600 for the conference.
okay.
Yeah, motion to approve $600 for the MHOA conference.
Okay,
I second that.
okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
abstained, so carried. Okay.
All right.
WB Mason.
Motion to approve WB Mason for $87.48.
I'm not gonna give 50.
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Abstained, so carried. They always have the weird numbers, you know.
And you got one more,
I got one.
Michael, for the Seacrest Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, more see.
Oh, okay. Oh, there are two there. I thought it-
Before we do this one, though, I have a question because whatever happened with the money that the owners had paid versus the actual contract?
We're not on that one yet. We're on the Seacrest Hotel right now.
Oh, Seacrest.
Seacrest.
Why is that? What is that for?
It's the conference. It's down.
That's where it was?
It's in Falmouth.
Okay.
Oh,
so
I
it's
know where Seacrest is. It's beautiful. I was just wondering why it was there, but that's cool.
550,
That's a nice
26.
place.
Is that right? That was
Yes.
right. Okay. fine.
That's where the conference is this year.
Define it, Mike.
Yep, motion to approve Seacrest Hotel for conference, $550.26.
Second.
All right,
Rich?
second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
All right, and now we got the bills, right?
Okay, now we have a betterment bill and,
Well, you get an application for $67.
okay, do have the application. Is that the one? Yeah, okay, fine. Is that the one I sign only or is that
That's,
the the board signs?
as long as you take a vote, I think one of you can sign that.
Okay,
It's just one of us.
okay.
All right, motion to, trying to get the,
67 Donna.
yeah, motion to approve the betterment loan for 67 Donna Road for approximately 21,900.
Okay. Trish? Second?
I second that.
Okay, all those in
You want to
favor?
put a cap on that, guys? I mean, typically we allot 30 in case it goes over a little bit.
Yeah,
Put a cap.
well, you think.
You want us to
21?
give him
Okay,
more
yeah.
than what he's requesting?
Or put a cap at 25, maybe.
I don't know, if it's 30, we just leave it.
I don't want to, I'd like you to come back, I mean,
Trish, you think this could go, actually, even Mike, let's call it 22,000, go up $8,000. We haven't had him. do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, 30,000 is the max. So
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
what I'm saying is Bruce wants to say,
put a
go
cap
ahead,
on the
just put a cap
approval,
on it. Yeah, that's fine, if you want.
not to exceed.
Right,
I mean, what if he digs up and finds some unsuitable material?
Right, maybe, I guess, okay.
I just don't want them to come back and say, oh, it's actually 30. Like,
Well, he's
we
got,
gotta be careful with that. We'll keep an eye on it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I always,
All right, and then lastly, the 32,000.
before we do that, no, Trish, to answer that question, what happened was, Roger, his wife, agreed that they wanted the whole new cement, the entire cement pad, that the corner was broken. Mike was gonna saw cut it and just pin it and put it together. But then they wanted the ramp. They don't want a step down. They wanted a ramp. So he put in an entire new, he didn't do it. He hired a contractor to do the entire pad the way they wanted. A full width sidewalk with the tying into the driveway. And Mike said, listen, if I can get that 3,200 or 3,500 for your engineering, I'll do this all with that. And, you know,
so Mike's gonna get this, the whole.
so Mike's getting the whole
Okay.
thing.
I
So,
didn't have an
Do we
opportunity.
have that in writing somewhere, not just a verbal agreement?
I don't have that in writing, but I guess we could
Reach out,
reach out and request that.
Yep.
Yeah, from the owner.
from the owner.
So let me tell you what happens.
I just wanted to let you know that before you guys can approve it, but I'm gonna make sure that I've been trying to reach out to the owner and I do. I will have them initial that invoice that they're in agreement to pay that
Okay,
before
that's
we
fine.
put it forward.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
the other
Laura.
thing too. I did say to Mike, that he should get that initial, because when you go over the treasury, you have to have the two signatures or an initial. It's not like before, you have to have the two people show up at the window. You can get a signature or initial. So I agree with Laura, should we approve it pending the signature or initials? That way there, we don't have to continue it for another month. Or 2 weeks rather, excuse me.
Get them
Yeah, I
to come
think
to the
as
office.
long as we have
Right,
both
fine.
the
Get them to
board
come.
approval and the owner approval written on there, I think we'll be good.
Okay.
Or just
can
put
have them
that
come
in
to
the
the-
motion when you approve it.
Have them, I think we should just have them come to the office and
Have them
sign
come
it.
to the office and either
Okay.
Laura and I can witness the signature.
Yeah.
Yeah, have the
Can-
owner
can we-
come to the office.
Yeah, okay.
Is it too much to have Larry notarize it?
We got 3 notaries in our
Well,
office.
yeah, we got 3 no's.
Oh, okay, then have it notarized.
And at this point, we could still approve it pending signature and notarization of it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
fine.
All
Okay,
right, motion to approve Marshan Environmental 32,500 pending signatures and notary.
okay,
I second that.
okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstained, so carried. Okay.
Yeah, both Michelle and Laura are notaries. in
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So as long as we get it, yeah, just say get it notarized, that way they don't, I mean, not for nothing,
Yeah.
not saying they're gonna come back at us.
Yeah, but just in case, you're right. That's good.
Nope, that's a great idea.
all
And they
right.
can say, it's not my signature,
your signature.
because it's usually it is. This is Trish's. I'm talking
All
about.
right, we have anything else?
I think that's
I
it.
think that's it.
Motion to adjourn.
I
Second.
second that.
All those in favor say aye.
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 We're
Have a
adjourned.
good night.
We beat the 9 o'clock, just barely. but
I gotta go to the bathroom.
That's why you're going so fast there.